Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Aspie with Attitude. You're watching an autistic YouTube content creator channel. Just to quickly introduce myself, my name is David. I'm from Melbourne. Since we're not at St Kilda at the moment, and I have autism, I have some speech difficulty, a speech impairment, Asperger's syndrome, and that's why I call myself an Aspie. And now, welcome to another Walk With Me adventure from Aspie with Attitude. This time round, this is what I'm actually visiting. The most iconic city in all of Australia, and the two structures in Sydney that stigmatises the whole cityscape, the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. What I'm going to do on this Walk With Me adventure is, I'm going to give you a bit of a recap and show you. In the Australian bushland, at parks, I had been crossing so many bridges, since I do love doing my bridge walk, as I show you these small wooden bridges, just hidden away in parks and bushlands, pretty much around Melbourne and all that. And now, that I'm in Sydney, this is the one ultimate bridge I'm going to be walking across today. And I'm going to actually begin my journey walking all the way to the Sydney Opera House. However it is, like, I'm going to have to get Canberra arm's reach, since there's going to be a lot of people. And I can't believe that I've got a perfect shot of this. Well, let's not waste any more time. Please come along, walk with me, as we check out Sydney in Australia, the state capital of New South Wales. Oh, dudes, like, how's this for a Melburnian? As it happens, since I'm from Melbourne, this is Sydney. Actually, Melbourne's got one of these things. One thing I haven't done yet is a fidget spin nose trick. I probably won't use it on that thing. And I'm just gonna sort of disappear for a bit. Well, dudes, I had to make a quick dash back down to Melbourne, since I'm still in the middle of doing a Walk With Me up in Sydney, just to show you this is what Melbourne also has. That's actually another Luna Park, which is much older than the one that I've been showing you on Milson's Point beside the Sydney Harbour. Since they decided to use a Moorish design, which is actually very typical of a period, especially they're based on New York's Coney Island, which was happening at a time when they've actually built this. As you can actually see a roller coaster going through one ear out the other ear, all around the perimeter of a whole park here in Melbourne. It's actually much smaller than the one in Sydney. And as it happens though, like, the one in Sydney has the Art Deco style. Well, the reason why it's got the Art Deco style in Sydney is because that was built in 1935, and Sydney actually copied the Melbourne Luna Park. Well, dudes, like, I'm actually doing a Walk With Me up in Sydney, so like, I think it's time to go back to Sydney and continue with this adventure up there. And here we go, time to teleport back. Alright dudes, I had to come back here because I've only just started my Sydney Walk With Me adventure from Aspie with Attitude. That's to show you what Melbourne actually has in St Kilda. And with this Luna Park face, I'm going to actually turn the camera around. I'll show you what's going to face. When you turn around, how cool is this? Like, it actually faces the most iconic structures in all of Australia, which stigmatises Sydney, the same way that the trams in Melbourne, which happens that the trams in Melbourne are actually the icon. Right now, this is Milson's Point. I could actually continue across there, and sorry about all this noise. There's a bit of construction happening. That's the only day or time I get to make this video. And I'll turn it around a bit and keep talking. Yeah, this is Milson's Point, and that lunar park has played a big part in my childhood, since I probably spent more time going to Sydney Lunar Park than I did with one in Melbourne, despite that I had been living in Melbourne for quite a while. And these days, this is a ferry terminal, which is called Milson's Point, and I can just show you this under a bridge. One thing I don't want to be doing is shining the camera in people's faces, since you get a couple of abuse, which is enough to ruin the whole day. This Sydney Harbour Bridge was built pretty much in the 1920s, almost 100 years ago. The idea is, this is to link up both sides of the shore, since when cars were becoming a thing back in the 1920s, it just meant that there's just too much ferrying across. So Bradford actually designed this harbour bridge just to sort of link up Sydney a bit, which has now become the biggest icon in all of Australia, and that's how people identify Australia, using the man-made structures here. Yeah, just seeing that. Yeah, this is definitely real Australia here. Apart from that though, this is the main city of Sydney here. Just everything all on the waterfront, which makes it so perfect. I've been overseas, I have been to London, New York and San Francisco. Those are the other world cities I've so far been to. I haven't even left Australia since April 2017, when I did actually go to San Francisco in California, and never had any thoughts of doing a walk with me videos back then. And I've distanced myself from Lunar Park. If you wonder what that noise is, that's all it is. So I can just show you where I'm going to go to one more time, which means I've got to cross through Circular Quay. That's where you're going to get a lot of people, and that's the bridge I've got to cross. And hopefully I'm going to go to this park and continue talking. Well, since it's early in the morning while people are on work, today's Friday, it's the 25th of August 2023 I make this video. Yeah, please come along, walk with me, and let's have a wonderful adventure in Sydney, Australia. Oh dudes, actually felt very nervous actually doing one of these walking the sunset kind of videos. Something that I'm not going to be doing much of, since it's actually just too urban. If you ever seen, I think it's a 1985 or 1986 movie with Chevy Chase called National European Vacation, that's just going to ruin my stay in Sydney if this ever happened to me. Unfortunately, I won't be doing much of these shots because like I'm actually very nervous and I'm very scared that there's opportunists, even though the camera's obsolete, people just steal it just to put me on the biggest autistic meltdown of my whole entire life. Sees that people get themselves stoked up if they want to sort of like stir people up, especially on the autism spectrum. I just don't want to sort of keep talking about autistic meltdowns while I'm going to do this in Sydney. Yeah, please come along on this walk with me adventure from Aspie with Attitude. actually just completed crossing. I've decided just to sort of catch a break from the noise and also the wind. And one thing that scares me about this one is I bought such a light tripod, maybe so I could just venture around the city a little bit. This bridge was completed in 1932. During the bridge opening, I could actually show you this. A different person actually did cut the ribbon, which happened to be some guy on the horse, like saying this is opened by the French government and something like that. I don't know what world this guy was on. It was actually being opened by the horseman with a sabre or kind of a sword or something like that. Well, it doesn't matter though, the bridge is here, regardless of who opened it. And just to get a name correct, I think I said Bradford earlier. It was Bradfield who actually, in the end, finalised and designed this bridge. And I hope you enjoyed the walk across the bridge. And I couldn't be walking the sunset, so many people, but so much detail to see on this bridge. Since I previously crossed the Brooklyn Bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, and the Tower Bridge in London. So now I'm going to continue on this walk from Aspie Viaduct. Yeah, come along, walk with me. Well dudes, I actually finally completed the video I absolutely wanted to do. That was the coolest thing about using the GoPro. I read what a GoPro is. You can see how overwhelming this would have been if I actually used my normal camera. And it saved me a lot of battery power too. It saved me a lot of stress trying to make this bridge walk possible. The most ultimate bridge walk across the king of all bridges in Australia, which is the Sydney Harbour Bridge. What I'm actually filming from is a observatory, like this word's just not rolling off my tongue properly, since I'm just so overstimulated by what I've actually so far accomplished probably in the last 90 minutes, since I've left Milson's Point, where Luna Park is. Oh, however it is, I've used the observatory, like just like the telescope joint. This is actually the rotunda, very iconic. So like I'm just standing there, just gonna have my last look at the Sydney Harbour Bridge and Milson's Point before I'm gonna move on towards the Sydney Opera House. This is one of my favourite buildings in Sydney. I must show you before I actually get a chance to move on to Sydney Opera House. So please come along and walk with me as we see more of Sydney. actually just thought I'll take an opportunity just to catch a break. Since I reckon it's just been a bit windy around the Sydney Harbour, since now I've completed the walk across the bridge, I'm finally at The Rocks. Oh, it's such a beautiful place. What I actually like to do around The Rocks is just to do more GoProing. Since when I was going through the cuttings, I actually just used my camera recorder. I may not get the quality that I want out of a camera recorder compared to the GoPro. I'm just going to continue on this walk with me adventure, and the reason why I'm actually doing it there is just no crime around here at the time when I was filming this on the 25th of August 2023. I'm going to move on, and there's actually a Aspie Attitude building in the city. That's where I'm going to head to right now. And please enjoy my walk around The Rocks in Sydney, Australia. Well dudes, actually finally made it to my destination. The building I actually really wanted to show you was that AWA building, which stands for Australasian Wireless Association. Also AWA, seen from Aspie with Attitude. The story behind this building is, the logo just looks so recognisable, which was on the TV, just the same one that I experienced since when I was about 2 or 3 years old. And something I like to show you, and how awesome is this? I can actually remember staring at this thing in front of that AWA tower, something that I've mentioned back in Walk With Me number 5, something that I've done for episode 121 on Mount Dandenong. Just putting this back in the tower once again. So I've got to really move on to the Sydney Opera House soon. Time to get on with my adventure from Aspie with Attitude. Walk with me. Well dudes, actually finally made it to the Sydney Opera House. And how cool is this? Like, if people are familiar with the Sydney Opera House, you get to see how it's actually made up of smaller tiles. That's the close-up shot I really like to get into my walk with me adventure from Aspie with Attitude. This is all about Sydney. It's never Sydney without the Sydney Opera House, which is actually a perfect time that I could actually catch a break. Nice, loving this walk. I can't believe this is just such a success. I thought it was going to be a bit of an epic failure as well. Yeah, dudes, like, just going to actually walk around a bit and just to show you around it. Half of it's actually fenced off because there's an event going on. Yeah, just staying in front of the main entrance, which is actually all fenced off and everything like that. And I'm sure the security would just know that I'm actually doing a documentary. What's actually really going on here is Miss Saigon, which is actually like a Vietnamese cultural show. And I've heard a bit of real singing. Oh yes, such an Australian icon. Even got a much better windbreak here. Since you can hear how my voice is actually reverbing around the opera house. Actually, the reason why I don't is this is all about audio engineering and must be quiet, listen to the music. Oh, how awesome is this? A bit of Vietnamese style of opera. This is what this place is actually for. Like, opera isn't just an Italian thing, it's actually world music. And I just love the way how the Vietnamese have their own opera happening. This serves as a cultural arts centre from all corners of the globe. So I have to keep quiet so I can hear a bit of opera happening. And just love the way how the sound reverbs as well as my narration.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's called Aspie with Attitude. Because you'll find a colourful test screen in the ball. It's actually a walk with me adventure.
Aspie?
A-S-P-I-E.
Yeah?
With
Attitude.
yes, and you'll find a coloured ball.
Oh yeah, colour ball.
Well dudes, I really enjoyed having a bit of a walk around the Sydney Opera House. Absolutely perfect. I did not ask for private security, which I actually got anyway, which had really made my day being in Sydney, since this is all the way from Melbourne. Oh yes, to see the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge together, the bridge that I crossed much earlier, that's the most ultimate bridge walk you'll ever get to see in any of my Walk Me adventures. And yet again, Opera House. Well, just let me get behind the camera once again. So I was actually filming just up there, and let's get a bit closer. If you see these guys and the fluoro, those were my friends who actually helped me out with the video. And before I move on and finish off my adventure with Walk With Me, that's what I actually really wanted to show you, which happens to be the Miss Saigon Opera in these real colourful Vietnamese costumes. Oh, they're just so awesome. Just coming there, just to show you what Australia is really all about. And this is just purposely built for opera. As I said, Opera is not just an Italian thing, it's a world thing. And I'm glad to hear that Vietnamese actually do have their own opera. Well, dudes, I finally made it to the end of this walk with me video. And check this out, like, walk across the bridge around the Opera House. Finally have made my day that I've actually finally got this video done. I've always wanted to do this video, actually. And if you like what I'm doing here, please, why not subscribe to Aspie with Attitude? That's all I ever ask for in terms of support. And don't forget to ring this notification bell if you want to keep up to date with Aspie with Attitude. And please don't forget to like and share this video content around. That way you're showing more support for my walk with me videos from Aspie with Attitude. And don't forget, I even got a full playlist of all my previous works that I've done. Oh yes, I just didn't think it was ever going to get this far to getting something like this. And the coolest thing is, my camera never got stolen. So I'm gonna pull this one off. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to Aspie with Attitude. And I hope you enjoyed the walk. Peace and respect from Sydney. Time to make a return to Melbourne.